Hi friends, welcome to today's session. So in this session, we are going to discuss about the characteristics of a good algorithm. In the previous videos, so we had what is algorithm, what are the different types of algorithms, and what are the different structures of algorithm that we had in the previous videos. Now in this session, we are going to discuss about the characteristics of a good algorithm, right? So you can write an algorithm as per your logic, program of steps, a logic or program of steps in solving a problem. So that depends on your logic, your way of solving the problem. That is not standard for everyone. That is not common for everyone. Everybody has its own methods or his own way of solving the problems. That depends on the persons. So for a same problem, you can develop n number of algorithms. For a same problem, you can go for n number of algorithms. So out of these algorithms, out of these n algorithms, which one is the best means we should be able to judge based on some criteria or some characteristics. So those characteristics we are going to discuss now. Basically, there are so many characteristics that depends basically on a particular problem, but in general, so what are the basic characteristics that is required to judge this one is the best algorithm? The first one is the algorithm should have well-defined input. Well-defined input. So what is meant by well-defined input? You can write the program, you can implement the logic without taking any input. So and the other method is by taking some input. So in algorithm, whatever the problem you are solving, for them you can write the algorithm with a well-defined input. That means that you can write the algorithm with some input taking from the or getting from the some user or some data input like that, or without taking the data input, that is a predefined values also we can write the input. You can write the algorithm. That is algorithm will have definite input, definitely well-defined input should be there. So that means that it may have zero input or more than one input. So without input means you can define the data items which are required. You can define in the problem itself sometimes, or sometimes you can get it from the some external, maybe reading from the some source, maybe keyboard, maybe user interaction, some other form. So that is that if it is having from the other source, so reading from the keyboard, user or something else, so you should have at least one input or more than one input. You should not have any input means predefined, whatever the input is required, that is a predefined, that's itself. So like that you should have well-defined input. The second one, the algorithm should have well-defined output. So well-defined output means we are writing the program for solving the solutions. So the program will terminate without giving any solution, without giving an output. It is a meaningless. So that's what. So an algorithm should have at least one output. So without output there is no program. So like that. So well-defined output. At least the algorithm should return at least one output. So that is, an algorithm should return or should produce, should give at least one output. That is, you can get more outputs. Like addition of two numbers, sum of the addition of two numbers, in addition to addition of two numbers, you may get multiplication of two numbers and division of two numbers, like that. If the same programs for the, at least if you have written the if you have developed the algorithm for addition of two numbers, so the program should return the addition of two numbers. In addition to that, if you want, you can go for multiplication of two numbers or division of two numbers or subtraction of two numbers, all these things. At least you should have one output what is required for your problem solving. Next one. The algorithm should be clear and unambiguous. Clear and unambiguous. That is, whatever the algorithm you have written, it should be clear logic and you should not create any ambiguous, that is, should not create any confusion in the logic implementation. That is, for example, I am explaining for this is the only simple reason. Suppose x equal to, suppose say z equal to x plus minus y. So this is the statement. So this is the somewhat ambiguous, whether I have to add this one or subtract this one. It's a meaningless, right? So the algorithm should be clear, the logic should be clear, the programming steps should be clear and unambiguous. You should not create any confusion. Here this is the simple example, z equal to x plus y. X and y are the two inputs, but in this problem it is creating some confusion. So when it is creating the confusion, one should have the negative. When it is a positive negative combined are there, then you can put that is parenthesis. Now the expression is very clear and it's not giving any confusion. Z equal to x plus minus of y, right? So now it may be x minus y, but as per the presentation, as per the logic implementation, so z equal to x plus minus y. So like that. So it should be clear and unambiguous. This is the only example. This is the one example how it should be. And finiteness. It should. Finiteness means when the program is when the algorithm is developed, you should have n number of steps. The n number of steps means the program should terminate at the end. So it should not continue for the n number of steps. That is, n is 1, 2, 3, 4, should not be infinite number of steps. It may be iterative sometimes. It may be in a loop or it may be in the some other manner. But the number of steps in the number of steps that is available in the algorithm, it should be finite in number. The loops or steps should be infinite in number, so that you can able to implement our algorithm. Next one is the algorithm should be language independent. Language independent. What is this meaning? Means you have developed an algorithm. The algorithm should not be influence the programming language. The algorithm is not very particular for C language. It is not very particular for Fortran. It's not very particular for Java. It's not very particular for Python. So the algorithm should be, the program should be, the logic should be whatever the algorithm we have provided. In that, the program steps are finite, clear and ambiguous, and well-defined output, well-defined input should be there, will have, and it should not depend on the, and should not be any language dependent. That's a programming language dependent. So you should the algorithm should be algorithm can be implemented any programming language. That may be it may be implemented in the C language. It may be implemented in the C++. It may be implemented Python, Java, whatever. So it should be language independent. The last one is feasible. Feasible means the algorithm should be feasible. That is, it should be implementable, practicable. So whatever the steps we have given in the algorithm, whatever the characteristics were given, that is only represents the best algorithm. So in that the best algorithm is it should be practically implementable. So it is practically possible to implement. So if if that is the type, then we can say it is a feasible the algorithm. It can be possible to implement any programming language. So these are the some basic characteristics that one can able to decide based on this whether it is a good algorithm or not. So in addition to this one, we have specific specific characteristics that depends on the some problem or some requirements. So that is a very particular for that problem, very particular for that particular application. But these are the some of the characteristics that should be common for any algorithm. Okay, so you should have well-defined input, well-defined output, clear and unambiguous algorithm, and a finite number of steps in the algorithm, and a language independent. The algorithm should be language independent, and it should be feasible. Okay, these are some of the characteristics of a good algorithm. In the next video, we are going to discuss about another topic. Thank you very much for watching, and I request all of you, if you like our videos, please share to your friends and subscribe to our channel and encourage us. Thank you very much.